So we've just come up the stairs in the Hermitage just to begin the tour. This is quite splendid in its own right. This is the main entrance of this staircase. It's called the Ambassador's Staircase. It has these wonderful Carrara marble from Italy and this granite from Poland. This was Tsar Nicholas II, the very last Russian emperor. This is his wife, Alexandra, the father of the children who was also assassinated. And this corridor has all the portraits of the whole lot from Peter the Great right to the very end. So in this dining room, a small white dining room in the Hermitage, was where the last government under Kerensky was arrested by the revolutionaries at 2:10 in the morning. And you can see there that the clock is stopped at 2:10. They were all taken to the Petersburg fortress, but they were allowed to leave and go abroad. This is the plaques that tell you all about it.
So the walls are covered with white artificial marble. Artificial marble was invented by Russian chemists in the time of Petersburg, the great airport of the 18th century. So it was made of mixture of real marble powder, special high quality glue and paint. So this is just a plain white artificial.
This is this wonderful malachite dining room. The columns are actually copper covered with small pieces of malachite. It is quite magnificent. This room is lined with artificial marble. It's called artificial, but it was just as expensive as the real thing. Look at these lights. I mean, they could obviously move about. This vase here, this huge thing, is made of lapis lazuli from Europe.
So we continue the massive bronze chandeliers manufactured in Petersburg.
This is one of the porcelain vases in the Field Marshal's room at the Hermitage, made in St. Petersburg. It was the third country after China and Germany to be able to make real porcelain. Here are another two, beautifully painted. Absolutely wonderful painting on them. This is a throne room parquet floor, which is absolutely magnificent. There you can see the throne. The silver throne was gilding. It was came from the British silversmiths, as did all these rather dark-looking candelabra and wall candles. And the wall is lined with French velvet with the double-headed eagle, which represents the union between the church and the state. They were in fact originally silver embroidered, but the silver has gone. After this came the hammer and sickle with a little star of the Bolsheviks, but since then they've reverted back to this Russian imperial badge. Come into this magnificent ballroom, which is absolutely fabulous. This is the Armorial Hall or Ambulance Hall. So this room was used by the Tsar meeting the governors of all the provinces. I think there were 96 in Russia, and it was probably only used once a year. This is a jasper vase carved in one piece. Jasper coming from the Ural, a sort of semi-precious stone, and they used to fill it with sweets during grand occasions. 1812 gallery after the defeat of Napoleon in 1812, and these portraits were all painted by an Englishman, George Doe, and represent the heroes of the war. When they took them down, cleaned them, they discovered that the ones at the bottom were of much higher quality than the ones at the top. But this was 10 years after George Doe had scarpered back to London with the money. The pattern on the floor in this throne room is a reflection of the pattern on the ceiling. This is the major room for all major events, marriages, births, celebrations, Christmas, took place in this room. Chandeliers have this double-headed eagle, which you can see there. And at this end is the throne, quite magnificent again, with an imperial double-headed eagle behind, and a big canopy above. Wonderful. On the first floor, so-called hanging gardens. They had singing birds in, other fowl, peacocks and things. This is the peacock clock made by Scotsman. There you can see the time, and above it is a little dragonfly, and its wings represent the minutes and hours. And when it's working, the cockerel crows and all sorts of things happen. There is the peacock clock, and the wonderful chandeliers inside this gallery. Look at this decoration. This is made of stone. Carved pieces of stone. Those little red things there are in fact rubies. Look at the flowers. Absolutely divine. Just a table and a half, that. And this gallery links the Hermitage with the theatre. It's a private theatre. And with wonderful paintings on the ceiling and some wonderful gilded plasterwork. Room after another of stunning. Look at the ceiling in here. If you were starving in Russia and you saw this, there's no wonder they had a revolution. Where did these people get such wealth? And how did they last so long? It's amazing they got past the French Revolution. We leave this room and we go into the next room and we look at that Michelangelo sculpture, which they decided they weren't going to use as a gravestone, I think it is, and so it's unfinished, and they never paid for it. The Michelangelo crouching man, which is surrounded by a little rope on a plinth, and must be worth millions and millions of pounds. Baggio, the boy with a lute. It's the only one in the museum, but never mind the Caravaggio. Just have a look at this room. With lapis lazuli vase. Look at the size of the thing. Over in that corner is malachite behind that lady there. His portraits, chandeliers, the ceiling. Lapis lazuli tabletop. In this room you have these huge malachite vases. So look at the pattern on top of there. It's absolutely amazing. It is in fact a veneer of malachite which is put on in little pieces. You don't find malachite in great big lumps like this. If you look at it closely you'll see the veneer, little tiny pieces stuck together. Very cleverly done. This is the original Three Graces by Canova. There are several copies of it. One of which I think is in Scion House in London.
The three of us ought to get here.
Just one after the other.
I don't think it looked like that. You don't think not?
One of 190 odd staircases in this place. This is rather subdued elegance in the sort of greys with a Polish granite. And nevertheless these very acanthus tops. And if you look at the decoration in there, although it looks plain, it is in fact tremendously ornate. This vase is made of rhodonite. from the Urals. It's the same material that was used to make the sarcophagus of one of the Tsars. It's the only one which is not made of white marble. We just passed it without even looking at it. Full of silver, chandeliers, and ceiling. Plasterwork up there on that. Ceiling rows. Starts with little tiny leaves and then they gradually get bigger and bigger and bigger as it moves out. Wonderful.